Hello again, fellow beach bum traders. Today we wanted to share with you some quick due diligence on what's considered a penny stock, Air Industries Group. The ticker symbol is AIRI, and we want to decide, is this a stock that we want to put on our watch list? Is it something we want to buy now, or is it something we want to avoid for the time being? So let's look at who is Air Industries Group and why are we considering them for at least our watch list right now. So if I go over to finbiz.com and I do a search for AIRI, Air Industries Group, you can find an affiliate link for Finbiz in the description box below. Since we're at the top, we'll just look at, okay, why are we considering AIRI for a potential watch at this time? Well, you can see right now it's sitting at a double bottom. So it's at a double bottom support level on the daily chart. If we zoom out just quickly to the weekly chart, we can again see this support level around $1 seems to be a long-term support level. We can see where the downside is to maybe 60 cents. So we've got a 40-cent downside. We've got a potential of up to somewhere in the 240 range. So we've got, $1.40 reward to a 60-cent risk. Well, that's greater than 2 to 1, so that's attractive. And we could see in the past it was much higher, but we'll focus kind of on this nearer term range. So again, we've got a better than 2 to 1 reward to risk level, which is something we want to see. So if we look at just the description of AIRI, who are they, what do they do? Well, it's an aerospace and defense company. They sell structural parts for prime defense contractors, aerospace. We can see they're in airplanes. They do landing gear, machine engine parts, etc. You can see they're covering a wide range of military aircraft, Sikorsky's, Blackhawks, the F-35, Hawkeye, Boeing, but they also have commercial. So they're supporting both Boeing and Airbus. So in terms of tailwinds, if we think about the increase in air flights, the increase in airlines ordering airplanes and having to maintain those airplanes due to the recovery, there's a potential tailwind for AIRI. Headwinds is they are heavily involved in the defense industry, and with the Biden Democratic-controlled Congress at this time, although the defense budget may be stable, it may not be increasing. So they may not see an increase in business in their defense business, but there is the potential for an increase in their commercial business. Since we're down here by their financial statements, if we look at their annual income, revenue is kind of stable. Earnings positive and somewhat stable. If we look at the quarterly, again, earnings revenue is stable to a little increase. Earnings stable, a little bit of an increase. We're pretty stable currently. So if we again look at their metrics, it's a relatively low float, but not super low float. Have positive income, positive sales. Debt's a little bit concerning, so their debt to equity is a little bit high. That's a little bit of a concern. We look at some of the news. We could see some of the events that have triggered pops that we'll see in the graph when they get orders for some of the aircraft. They got a $6 million order in April that caused a little bit of a pop. They got an F-35 landing gear. Gave it a little pop. Again, as they get these contracts, which can be kind of sporadic, then you see these sharp spikes in its history. So we have owned AIRI before. We've made money on AIRI before. So again, since it was approaching this double bottom support, it looked like a good time to look at it again to see if there's been any change. Again, when these things come up on our screeners, on our queries as potential additions to the watch list, potential buys, we always want to take a new look at, do our due diligence again, update our thesis to see if they continue to be good. Again, from our experience, it tends to be very spiky, so you'll have to wait for potentially a lengthy period of time for it to spike, which is typically triggered by some kind of news. They get a contract, they report positive earnings, it'll spike, you take your profit, and then wait for it to come back down to become a good buy again. So now we'll look in more detail in Seeking Alpha and see what it has to say about AIRI. So now let's see if we can find any additional information that will help us make a decision whether AIRI, Air Industries Group, is a good stock to watch right now, good stock to buy right now in seekingalpha.com. I'll put a link to the description in the description box below. All you do is put the symbol AIRI, AIRI, in the search box, search for it, and we will see the details in Seeking Alpha. So we can see the chart. We want to do a quick scan through the news and the analysis. You can see some of the analysis is quite old, 2015, 2016, so it may not be relevant for right now. We can see some of the recent news, beats on revenue, that's positive, secures a contract, that's positive. So all the news we can see right now, there's another order, positive. So the news seems to be relatively positive. We can see the ratings are kind of mixed. They're giving it a low grade for profitability. Well, we saw they were profitable, but very small. It's not really being considered as a value stock, has some growth potential. So we can see what those grades are from Seeking Alpha. We can look at the revenue trend. Revenue seems to be trending up. That's positive. Earnings per share, again, trending up, slightly positive. We can quickly look through some of the other metrics. Profitability, positive, small. We can look at their ownership, mostly retail. It'd be nice to see more institutional, but okay. An important factor is the Altman Z score in terms of their solvency. We see it's positive but small. At least it's positive, so they're not at risk of insolvency. We can also see their beta is less than 1 but positive, so it trends with the market, but less than 1, so it's gonna move slower than the market. Again, their balance sheets, incomes, we can see looks okay, a little bit high debt. Free cash flow is a little negative. It'd be nice if that were positive, but all in all, increasing revenue, increasing earnings. I don't see anything overtly negative, and we could see it's kind of on a bottom and uptrend, so that kind of supports our thesis that it's bottoming and hopefully turning up in the future. So we'll take a look, do some more technical analysis, take a look at the information that Webull has on AIRI, and then we'll make a decision whether it's something we want to watch or buy right now. So now let's take a look at the information that's available in Webull for AIRI. I am on the Stocks tab of the browser version of Webull. Again, as always, you can find our affiliate link in the description box below to get 2 or more free stocks from Webull. If you just search for a symbol name in the search box, you can search for any symbol. You can see we've already brought up AIRI. This is currently, I'm looking at the 1 month chart, and we can see AIRI has gone just a little below a support level and appears to be turning up on the 1 month chart, which again is what we kind of saw in FinViz at a more broad level, but here we can see that bottoming action and turning up, which is exactly what we like to see. We like to buy things that are at a support level, come back up through support, and are turning up. If we zoom in a little bit to a 5-minute chart, we can again see similar behavior. It dipped below support, dipped below that $1 level, broke back above support and broke above the pivot, and now appears to be trending up. So the technical analysis is looking good. Here's the VWAP. It's above the VWAP right now. Again, it looks like it is making that upward turn that we like to see. So it's looking pretty good. Also in Webull, at the bottom of the stock screen, you can see there's additional information about any stock that you're looking at. So let's look at some of the details that Webull has available for AIRI. Again, this is great information. It's really easy to look at a quick view for any stock in Webull. We can see their income for the estimates in orange versus the actual. We can see that same kind of trends, low but upward trend. We can see the detailed tables. Again, you can see quarterly, annually, but this looks positive. We can see they have beat earnings estimates in the past, and again, that tends to give stock a pop. So we can hope that we can catch that in the near future again. Balance sheet again looks trending positive on a quarterly basis. We can look at the annual. Again, we see that trending upward. That's good. Look at their cash flow, annual actuals above estimates. That's good. We can look at more detail. Quarterly, this is actuals. Again, trending up. That looks good. And we can look at some of their financial ratios from a quarterly basis. Not as positive, but there's a lot of detail. There's return on equity, return on assets. Again, not as positive. So we can also look at what do the analysts say. This is again a penny stock. It's not followed very much. So there's only one analyst that's currently following it. It has buy rating, but again, it's only one analyst. So at least it's not negative, but not very significant. We can see press releases, corporate stuff, and news. Not a lot of specific news for them. Beats on revenue. We saw similar things in Seeking Alpha. So again, great additional information, easy to access, easy to use in Webull. The technical analysis looks good. This looks like something that we want to put on the watch list as of October 8th. Again, we want to see, this uptrend continue. We don't want to see it immediately break down, but assuming this trend continues, we'll probably be looking at buying AIRI very soon. So we hope this all helps. Please let us know in the description box below what you thought of this due diligence on AIRI. Again, you can see this is why we update our due diligence, even on stocks we bought before. Please let us know in the description box below other symbols that you would like us to do similar due diligence on, and we'll see what we can do. We hope you like this video. Smash the like button. We hope you will subscribe to our channel if you have not done so already, and share this with your fellow traders. That would be great. Good luck. Have a great trading day. Bye. Since we happen to be watching AIRI Air Industries, ticker symbol AIRI, we want to show you another example of how we read the level 2 to determine if and when and at what price we might want to consider buying a stock at a given time, in this case AIRI. Again, we're on the Trade tab in Webull, the online browser version of Webull. Again, you can find our affiliate link in the description box below to get 2 or more free stocks in Webull. This level 2 subscription is NASDAQ only quotes, and again there's a small fee for getting the NASDAQ quote subscription. I think it's about $2 a month, but well worth it in terms of determining at what price and when to buy or sell. So again, we could see the bids on the left and the asks on the right in NASDAQ. Again, this is only the NASDAQ quotes, but we can see at this time the buyers are much fewer than the sellers. We can see there's a much larger wall of sellers than buyers, and we can see the seller or the buyers are very thin, starting at 102, and there's a much larger buyer at 104. So I typically read something that looks like this as a downward pressure, right? There's more sellers than buyers. They're going to tend to push the price down, although it may have looked like it broke the pivot point or the support level. We see the pivots at 101, resistance is at 104. There's downward pressure on this stock. So at this point, you can look at this and say, well, this is not a good time to buy. It's more likely to go down further. We don't see a big buyer at any level, so we don't really know at what price would be a good point to buy. What we want to see is more balance in this graph, and ideally if the buyers overwhelm the sellers, then that's a good time to buy, and a peak would tell us, okay, at what price would we want to buy. In this case, this graph tells us it's going to hit a wall at 110, more likely to bounce down at that point. So again, this is only NASDAQ quotes, so we typically refer to Thinkorswim, level 2 quotes, and or BATS to make additional decisions as to where all the buyers and sellers are, blocks, etc. But this is very helpful. Again, this tells us even though the chart may look like it's trending up, this chart of level 2 tells us, hey, there's downward pressure. It's more likely to go down than up. So we hope this all helps. Let us know in the comments below, and good luck and have a great trading day.